Hello students, finally our second chapter, that was the biological classification, is over now. Now we are here in our chapter 3, that is plant kingdom. As we have discussed that the last two kingdoms, plant kingdoms and animal kingdoms, will be taught in separate chapters. So now we will start with plant kingdom. So today we will discuss about the whole plant kingdom. The basic characteristics of plants are already discussed in our last class. So today we'll see how plant kingdom is further classified into divisions. So let's begin with the divisions of plant kingdom. The plant kingdom is divided into two sub-kingdoms. They were cryptogams and phanerogams. So students, make sure you are writing all these slides so that it will be easy to do your assignments. So now let's start. Plant kingdom is divided into two sub-kingdoms. They were cryptogams and phanerogams. Cryptogams includes all seedless plants. The plants that doesn't have seed, this is included into the cryptogams. So cryptogams includes all seedless plants. Phanerogams include all seeded plants. That means the plants having seeds are included under phanerogams. Again, cryptogams is divided into three divisions. There were thallophytes, bryophytes and pteridophytes. Thallophytes means, example we have, that is algae, where the body is not differentiated into root, stem and leaves. That means if you are provided with an algae, you cannot differentiate what is the root, what is the leaf, what is the stem. So the body which is not differentiated into any of the body parts, that is called as thallophyte, and the basic example is algae. Then comes the bryophyte. It have root like, stem like structure. Students, I think you are sure enough, root or root like, stem or stem like. That means they don't have true root, true stems, rather they have root like or stem like structures. So they are not true root or true stem, they are false root or false stem. Then pteridophyte, they have true root, stem and leaves. So that is quite complex than the thallophyte and bryophyte. So pteridophytes, they possess true root, true stem and true leaves. So cryptogams include three divisions: thallophyta, bryophyta and pteridophyta. Thallophyta are the simplest one and pteridophyta is the complex one. Next come the phanerogams, where the seeded plants are divided into two types, having one naked seed, that were gymnosperms, and seed covered within the fruit, that is called angiosperms. So gymnosperm possess all the plants that is having seed without a covering. That means their seed is not present inside the fruit. The seeds are naked. And angiosperms, that is the flowering plants that possess seed inside the fruit. So these are this is the basic division of plant kingdom. I hope you have all written it down. So today we'll begin with the individual divisions. First we'll start with thallophyta, that is the basic member is algae. So today we'll learn only about algae. So this class is to the algae. Let's start. The basic characteristics of algae are, first one is, it is the simple plant. We have already discussed, as there is no true root, stem, leaves, so obviously it is simple. It's thallus-like or thalloid, that is body is not differentiated into root, stem or leaves. Thallus means where the plant body is not differentiated into any body parts. It is called as thallus or thalloid. Then autotrophic, obviously it is a plant, it is possessing some pigments that helps in the photosynthesis. That is where they do not depend on anyone for their nutrition or nourishment. That is where they are autotrophic. Next, they are largely aquatic, both fresh and marine water. So mostly the algae are aquatic. They live in aquatic or inside the water, both fresh water and marine water. They can present in both river, ponds, streams or in ocean seas. Then phycology is the branch of biology which deals with the study of algae. As zoology deals with the study of animals, botany deals with the study of plants, like that phycology deals with the study of algae. So in today's knowledge cloud we have so many terms. Let's start with one by one. First one is hydrophytes, that is water is their basic habitat. The plants living in water, they cannot survive in soil, in terrestrial condition, that is called as hydrophyte. Then xerophyte in desert habitat, present in desert area. Mesophyte in medium habitat, that means they require moderate amount of water to survive. They are mesophyte, like not much water, not very less water. Then epiphytes, the plants living on the plants. Some algae, you can see some algae greenish color shade a plant is having, like these are the algae present on the plant. They are called epiphytes. Lithophytes, the algae growing on the rocks. You can see greeny rocks, they are the algae and these are called the lithophytes. Then halophytes, present in salty areas, in ocean source. They are called halophytes. So these are the basic terms related to algae. Now let's see what are the symbiotic relationships of algae. We have already discussed, I think 2 times before, algae and fungi. They have a symbiotic relationship called as lichen, where algae provides food to fungi and fungi provide shelter. Students, you know, I think what is symbiotic relationships, where both the members are equally benefited, no one is harmed. In this case, in case of lichen, fungi provide shelter and algae provide food to the fungi. Next, another relationship is between algae with animals. Example, sloth bear. See, here is a diagram, the picture of sloth bear, where algae absorbs the water from sloth bear hair. So the body hairs of sloth bear have water droplets. These droplets are absorbed by the algae, and obviously algae depends on water. And again, algae provides a green color shade to the sloth bear, so that the sloth bear cannot be distinguished in the jungle, or when it is sit on the plant, you cannot recognize the sloth bear is there, so that it can protect itself from the predator. So like that, like this manner, algae and sloth bear are equally benefited. Next come the shape and size of algae. They are largely varying. So all algae are variables. They are variable in size and shapes. They are not similar to one another. They are microscopic, unicellular, flagellated, that is Chlamydomonas. Students, now see the first picture, that is of Chlamydomonas. It is microscopic, that means we cannot see it in naked eye. Unicellular, that means it has only one cell, and flagellated, it possesses 2 flagella so that it can move. Next, microscopic, unicellular, non-flagellated, example is Chlorella. Students, see the picture number 2, Chlorella. They are microscopic, unicellular, but do not have any flagella. Next, coloniform, that is Volvox. So Volvox is present in colony. So they always remain in a colony. See this, the circular structure, so many Volvox, individual Volvox are present inside that colony. Then filamentous, unbranched, example Eleutheryx. You can see the picture of Eleutheryx. It is filamentous or thread-like and unbranched. It doesn't have any branches. Then have a massive body, that is kelp. Kelp is an algae that is present in the ocean and have a massive body of about 100 feet. You can see in National Geographic or Animal Planet, when sea divers goes inside the ocean, you can see the large plant's body. These are the kelp. Kelp has a very massive plant body. Whether they are the simple plants, but they can grow up to 100 feet. So these are the basic shape and size. I hope you all remember one example at least. Next come the reproduction in algae. There are 3 types of reproduction mode. One is vegetative, another one is asexual, last one is sexual. I think with all these 3 are already discussed in case of kingdom fungi, and they are more or less similar, so it won't be very difficult for you to understand. So there are 3 basic reproduction types. They are vegetative, asexual and sexual. First comes to vegetative reproduction, that is by fragmentation. One body will be divided into different fragments, and each fragment will grow into a new individual. Now you can see this body It's similar to Eulothrix. Now we have already discussed filamentous unbranched. So this Eulothrix is divided into 1, 2, 3 fragments. Each fragment will grow into a new Eulothrix. So see, Eulothrix is immortal. So magical power it is having. So if we cut the body into different pieces, each piece will grow into a new organism. Then comes the asexual reproduction, where there is no fusion of gametes. Gametes cannot fuse. So directly from spore, they will germinate into a new organism. So asexual reproduction occur by spore. Each spore will grow into a new organism. So what are the spores? Zoospores within the zoosporangia, or aplanospores, or akinets. See, there are so many spores, but I have given you 3 spores. So you just remember at least 2 of them. So basic is the zoospore. See diagram. So it is grow inside the zoosporangium, a cup-shaped structure, that is zoosporangium. See, inside the zoosporangium, so many zoospores are there. Zoospores are flagellated. See, 2 flagellas are there. They are motile as they have flagella. So you have to remember that for each asexual spore of algae is motile. They are called zoospores. So each zoospore will grow or germinate into a new plant body or new algae. Next come the sexual reproduction, where the fusion of gamete occurs and the male gamete and female gametes fuse together to form a structure called a zygote. So this sexual reproduction is again 3 types: isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. Let's discuss one by one. First one is isogamy. Isogamy means where there is fusion of 2 similar gametes. You can see the picture in your right side. So first one is isogamy. See, both the gametes look similar, equal in shape, equal in size. So when 2 similar gametes fuse together, they are called as isogamy. Iso means similar, gamy comes from gametes. 2 similar gametes. Example, flagellated is Chlamydomonas. So when the 2 similar gametes is possessing flagella, their example is Chlamydomonas, and 2 similar gametes where they do not have flagella, the example is Spirogyra. So now tell me in the side diagram which organism it is, Spirogyra or Chlamydomonas? Obviously Chlamydomonas, because it possesses flagella. Next is anisogamy, where fusion of 2 dissimilar gametes occurs. See, the female is larger and male is smaller here, means that the 2 gametes are not similar to each other. Example is some species of Chlamydomonas. See, Chlamydomonas are so many species. So some species can show isogamy, some species can show anisogamy. Next comes oogamy, where there is small motile male gamete plus large non-motile female gamete. You can see in the picture, the egg is larger and it doesn't have a flagella, but sperm is smaller and it possesses flagella. So where sperm is motile but egg is larger and non-motile, the fusion between these 2 is called as oogamy. Example is Fucus or Volvox. So these are the 3 types of sexual reproduction: isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. Let's see how algae is useful to us. In what way algae is helping us? First one is, it fixes at least half of the carbon dioxide on earth by photosynthesis. So as we know, in case of photosynthesis, the carbon dioxide is utilized and oxygen is produced. So half of the carbon dioxide that is present in the atmosphere is fixed by the algae. Next, increase the level of oxygen. So by fixing the carbon dioxide, algae releases oxygen so that we can breathe properly. Then primary producer of aquatic animals. Some aquatic animal directly feed on algae. They can eat the algae, or whatever oxygen is produced by the algae, they can breathe by that also. Next, can be used as food like Porphyra, Laminaria, Sargassum. So these Porphyra, Laminaria, Sargassum, these are 3 algae that directly we can eat as our food. We can cook it as a food, or we can have it as a salad. Then can be used as hydrocolloid, that is water holding substances. Water substances means where water is absorbed and it won't be soaked or it won't be blown away. So this structure, these hydrocolloid, they can absorb the water so that the water will be present inside for a very long period of time. So if you are transporting some substances that require water, we can put it inside the hydrochloride. It will leave up to 14 to 15 hours. So what helps in producing hydrochloride? Algin of brown algae, coragin of red algae. See, two types of algae are there, brown and red algae. So from them we can extract algin, that is also helpful in making hydrochloride. Coragin is extracted from red algae, that is also helpful in making of hydrochloride. Then agar is produced from Gelidium and Gracilaria. Agar is used in production of ice cream and jelly. It's very useful for you people. No, so for making of ice cream and jelly, one substance is used, one ingredient is used, that is called as agar, and this agar is produced from two algae that are Gelidium and Gracilaria. It is also used in lab to grow bacteria. Also, we cannot grow bacteria just like inside a plate. We can keep the plate, we can fill the plate with agar, and inside the agar the bacteria will grow. If you do research on bacteria, we can see how bacteria is growing inside the laboratory. Then used as food by astronaut, example chlorella and spirulina. So astronaut do not carry rice, dal, chapati or any curry with them, or they cannot cook in the space stations. So they take chlorella or spirulina. 1 spoon of this chlorella or spirulina powder is equal to 1 day of protein supplement. So whatever we eat in 1 day in form of our food, like rice, chapati, dal, 1 spoon of chlorella just does that. So astronaut take this chlorella and spirulina to the space, and in 1 day they eat just 1 spoon of chlorella. That is enough for them. They don't feel hungry. Again, algae is classified into 3 classes. There are chlorophyceae, phaeophyceae and rhodophyceae. Why I colored this term? Chlorophyceae suggests green algae, phaeophyceae suggest brown algae, and rhodophyceae suggest red algae. Let's start one by one. See, in the characteristics of chlorophyceae, the common name is green algae. Chloro means, so obviously you know, it comes from chlorophyll something, that is why it is green algae. Major pigments are chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, that is why they are green in color. Stored food is starch. So these algae store their food inside their body in the form of starch. Cell wall is made up of cellulose with pectose outside. So pectose is a kind of sugar. So in addition with cellulose, they have pectose. Number of flagella are 2 to 8. They are equal in size. All flagella are equal in size, and they are apical. They are present at the one end of the body of the chlorophyceae. So at one end of the body, all the flagellas are present. All flagella are equal in shape and size, and the number is between 2 to 8. The habitat is fresh water and salt water. So these chlorophyceae can live in both fresh water, that is river, ponds, and salt water, that is ocean. In the other characteristics of chlorophyceae, we will see the storage body where the plant stores its starch is called as pyrenoid, that is present in the chloroplast. Now we can take an example. What? Chloroplast, you know, that is present in the cell. Suppose this chloroplast is the cupboard. Pyrenoid is your jar. Inside the jar, biscuit is present. So chloroplast is the cupboard. Pyrenoid is the jar. Inside the jar, starch is present. The starch is the biscuit. Just like that, inside the chlorophyceae, chloroplast is present. Inside the chloroplast, pyrenoid is present. Inside the pyrenoid, starch is present. You can see the diagram. Pyrenoid having both starch and protein. So inside it, protein is present, and outside the pyrenoid, starch is present. Just remember, protein remains inside and starch remains outside. Then pyrenoid contains proteins and starch. Chloroplast are of various shapes: star-shaped, plate-like structure, reticulate, cup-shaped, spiral, or ribbon-shaped. See, so many types of chloroplast are there in chlorophyceae. You can see in the picture also. See, I have given you these pictures. The members reproduce in all 3 ways: vegetatively by fragmentation, asexually by flagellated zoospores that we discussed. Zoospores are flagellated and motile. Sexually by isogamy, anisogamy, and oogamy. So they show all types of these chlorophyceae members. They show all type of reproduction. Okay. Here are some of the examples of chlorophyceae: Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, Volvox, Eulostrix, Alva, Chloropa, Cara, Acetobularia. Some are diagrams also, but no need to worry. These are very complex terms, but you have to just remember 2 to 3 names as per your wish. Now choose some your of some comfortable terms and you can remember this. Next comes phyophyce. The common name is brown algae. The pigments are chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C and fucoxanthin. This fucoxanthin gives the brown color to the algae. Students also remember the chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. Don't confuse it with other algae. In chlorophyll, in chlorophyce, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B were present. Here chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C are present. In addition to that, fucoxanthin is present that provides the brown color to the algae. The stored food is mannitol or laminarin. As chlorophyce was stored food as starch, they store their food as mannitol or laminarin. The cell wall possesses cellulose and algin. Now remember where you studied this algin? Yes, we studied it in the usefulness of algae. Algin was used to prepare the hydrocolloid, water holding capacity. If you write it down, then you can easily remember this. Then flagella. There are two flagella which are unequal and lateral. In both sides of the body they are present, lateral side, and they are unequal. Two flagella, they are unequal. One is large, one is short. The habitat is freshwater or saltwater. Usually freshwater, there are rare brown algae, but in saltwater they were dominant. Their body is simple, branched and filamentous. The body is simple because it's the simplest plant algae. Or they can be flat ribbon shaped. Next, kelp, which are the giant brown algae, are the largest sea plant. So inside the sea there are 100 feet of giant kelps. They are the brown algae. I have told you about kelps. You have seen in National Geographic channel or Animal Planet channel. The kelps are the very huge plant bodies, but they are the brown algae. They are simple, but they grow up to 100 feet. Next, the plant body has three parts: a fixing structure that is fixed in the any substratum, any base, that is the holoplast. You can see at the end. Then stalk-like structure called as stipe, that is a branch, that is stem-like structure is called stipe, and leaf-like structure, that is frond. You can see holoplast, stipe and frond. So brown algae possesses three body parts: holoplast, that is the base; stipe, that is the stem-like structure; and frond, that is the leaf-like structure. So these are the basic three parts of brown algae. Reproduction in brown algae includes all three types, that is vegetative reproduction by fragmentation, asexual, where the biflagellated zoospores grow into a new organism. You can see there are two zoospores in the side diagram. So each zoospore will grow into a new organism, and you know zoospores are having two flagella and they are motile. The sexual reproduction occurs by the fusion of gametes, and these are of three types: isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. All these three types are found in the sexual reproduction of brown algae. So both chlorophyce and your phyophyce, they show all the reproductions types. The common examples of brown algae are Ectocarpus, Laminaria, Dictyota, Sargassum and Fucus. I have given you some diagrams also. They are all brown in color. But now just remember where you studied about Laminaria, Sargassum. Yes, in the usefulness of algae. Now you can remember this term also. So at least remember 2 to 3 examples from each algae. Okay. Next come the rhodophyce. It is commonly called as red algae. Major pigments are chlorophyll A, chlorophyll D. Students mark chlorophyll D and phycoerythrin. This phycoerythrin provide red color to the rhodophyce. Then the stored food is floridin starch. Students, this is very important in terms of your medical entrance. This question is very important. Rhodophyces store their food in the form of floridin starch. The cell wall possesses cellulose, pectin and polysulfide ester. You can also remember cellulose or pectin. Flagella are absent. Their habitat are freshwater or saltwater. Mostly they are present in saltwater. Inside the ocean, the highest amount of algae present are the red algae. They can live in well lighted area as well as less lighted area. So on the top of the ocean they are well lighted due to presence of sunlight, but when you go deep inside the ocean, no sunlight penetrates inside the ocean. They are completely dark, but still some rhodophyce can grow inside the dark also. So rhodophyce is the most abundant algae present in the ocean. Most of the rhodophyce are multicellular. They have complex body structure than the chlorophyceae and phaeophyceae. Their vegetative reproduction occur by fragmentation. Asexual occur by non-motile spores. Students mark this. The rhodophyceae has asexual reproduction by non-motile spores. So that means they do not use zoospores. They have akinets or some aplanospores. Those are non-motile. That means the spores do not possess flagella. The sexual reproduction occur only by oogamy. Oogamy, remember? The large female gamete and a small male gamete, they fuse together. That is called as oogamy. And they have a complex post-fertilization development. So after the fusion of gamete, when zygote is produced, that zygote will develop in a complex manner. Okay, so the post-fertilization development of zygote is complex than the phaeophyceae and chlorophyceae. The common examples are Polychiphonia, Porphyra, Glacilaria, Gelidium, Batrachospermum. So these are the common rhodophyceae example. I have given you some pictures also. See, in case of Thoria, the picture seems like green color, but actually as there are phycoerythrin pigments but very less amount, but still we included in the red algae. Okay, so you can remember Gracilaria, Gelidium, easily you can remember because your favorite ice cream and jellies are produced from them. Agar. Okay, so these are the basic examples of rhodophyceae. Now we'll see some common names of algae. That is water silk, called as Spirogyra. The diagram is there. Sea lettuce, it is called as Olva. Or umbrella plant, it is called as Acetabularia. See, it's umbrella-like structure. It is the largest unicellular algae. One more question will come. Which is the largest unicellular algae? Acetabularia. What you also called it? Umbrella plant. So these are the common names of some algae. Spirogyra is commonly called as water silk. Olva is commonly called as sea lettuce. Lettuce, you know, na? The celebrities use as salad, leaves like structure. These are the lettuce. So Olva is the sea lettuce. So all this is about algae. In our next session, we'll learn about Bryophyta. Okay. So today, up to this, we have discussed that is all about the algae. I hope you all understand this and learn some new words. In coming days, you will get the assignment. I hope you will do all the assignments and send it by mail. So today's quote is: your smile, use your smile to change the world. Don't let the world change your smile. So always put a smile on your face. It has a very nice power. So that whatever happens in your life, it will be cover up with that. So never let anyone to lose the smile on your face. Thank you.